The rest of the internet's perfectly fine and nothing bad has happened anywhere.
You need to increase your celerity, Sean.
Hey everyone, this is Big Campaign Stories. I'm Jeff, your GM. To get us started here, let's start with some lightsaber checks. Jesse.
Hey everyone, I'm Jesse. I'm playing as Oswald, and I got a 15. John.
This is John playing as Lucius. And I got a 20.
Oh, snap.
Oh no. I
Ooh.
specifically choose not to crit miss about this too. Alright. Alright. Moment of truth.
Oh,
Oh
So
my god.
close, a 19. Yeah. Alright, Sean, go for it.
I'm Sean. I'm playing fours. And I rolled a 20. Don't you know? John, this is how you roll a lightsaber. And then I rolled just slightly worse.
Oh God.
Perfect. That bodes well for this mission.
yeah, you guys totally got like the production quality props.
That being said, you guys have pulled up outside of the grand estate of Estelle Del'Rose. The wide yard, you can hear the music booming across it. You can see the many floors to the home, the spotlights projecting up and out. You would have passed the hovels and impoverished people. Impoverished? Wow, that word is not coming out of my mouth the way I wanted to. Fucking pavos.
Fucking plebes.
You'll pass by the hovels and plebes outside, drinking and throwing occasional beer bottles and or trash at the wall that protects her property from the rest. But as you pull up to the front, standing at the gate, checking people as they come in, is a familiar face, Chira, a lizard folk that works for the Banter Support Mercenaries that you all remember from a previous encounter.
Yeah, I am not super keen to look at Chira. I do not have fond memories of that day.
This is us all still in the vehicle?
Yeah, and she's going to direct you where to park. So
Okay. Right. Because I
I'll be
think I'm
driving.
just sitting back.
Yeah.
Or I don't know where. Maybe I'm shotgun.
Oh man, you might have gotten promoted to shotgun.
where does Lucius need a place for his coffee?
Oh wow.
Just hovering there.
Why use cup holders when you have prestidigitation and mage hand?
It's just one of those takeout container cup holder fold out cardboard trays that just sits on the seat itself. It's buckled in.
But regardless of which, I imagine Lucius driving, Chira will see you and give a familiar, hey, didn't know you guys were coming here.
Shira, how are you today?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Back on the job, huh?
Gotta pay the bills.
There's always time to reconsider. Come work with us. Banter doesn't really have the best reputation, do they?
Not at the moment, but they have contracts coming through.
Well, I'm sure we'll see you around.
And she'll go down the list and just wait till she gets to a section that she, DPS?
Very same.
Alrighty. And she'll check you off, and parking's over on the left.
Thank you.
A valet will approach and, can I get your keys?
A wrinkle appears.
Yeah, sure. Mistake number 1. Toss him the keys.
Yeah. The young Yellowkin will smile and hop in. I'm going to park you in the lower lot with the rest of the help. Is that okay?
Oh, yep. Sounds good.
Okie doke. He'll take the wrecker further down as you guys are able to walk out into the large and ornate front yard. Maybe at some point you ask yourself, who needs 2 fountains? Obviously this person.
So it looks like they've got banter support on this one as well.
Oh, as well as Mercadine, as well
as us.
as well as us, as well as
So we'll want to keep our eyes on what banter's doing.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask, was Chira in a uniform?
Chira was in her banter support uniform.
And have you described what kind of uniforms they wear? Is it like paramilitary stuff, or is it?
At the front desk there, she's wearing kind of like a reinforced light armor. It's not like what the shock troops were wearing when you encountered them outside of the Crow estate. This is definitely more of a, you're probably going to be sitting most of your shift kind of armor.
Okay.
As you guys enter into the large home, one of the servants here will approach and offer to take any coats or things like that. Oh, actually, before you guys enter, I believe Oswald is going to be out in the trees or on top of the roof or something.
Lucius, do you think I should come inside at first? Do you think I should be like your outside roving perimeter security expert, or what?
Let's have you be the outside roaming perimeter guy, like you were just saying.
Okay, cool. Then I will not follow the other two inside. Instead, I'll start wandering around the grounds like I belong there.
Checking the perimeter.
Yes.
Yeah, as you start walking around the perimeter, you will see a couple banter support kind of basic employees that walk around with the Arferi guards.
Okay. I'll relay that over the sliver to both Lucius and Forrest. Our Fury is also here.
Sounds good. While you're out there, just try to get a count and maybe an idea of where people are.
Will do. I'll do several loops and try to get a reliable count of how many guards I see.
Sure. But heading inside. Now, I don't remember if we decided this last time. Forrest, did you bring that adamantium greatsword?
No. I decided against it.
So you have your dress on, and then you have your clutch of holding.
Yep.
All right. And Lucius, I know you have the elder coat. Oswald had weapons, but did you guys then bring any?
Yeah, I'll have my pistol in a shoulder holster.
Okay.
Are we inside yet, or are we?
Oh, I mean, the person in the front there will offer to take your coats.
And I'll decline, but I'll take it off and fold it over my arm.
Oh, I've got to do secret pistol in the garter belt.
All right. Excellent.
If the dress allows for it.
Yeah, absolutely. For cool guy points, how can we not? Entering to the first floor, you guys will be able to see the wide swooping stairwells on both sides that lead down to the main kind of dancing area and location where the festivities are being held. Large tables full of food, ice sculptures of swans, rich people talking. A lot of these are actors, writers. There's maybe a couple local politicians or local judges that are here to kind of bump elbows with the rich and famous. You can see Estelle herself is taking up the center of attention, moving around with a very large dark blue and green accented dress that you can tell that occasionally she'll be able to leap or bound across the room almost in a single go, trailing behind various ribbons. Obviously the dress is magically enchanted to make her lighter in the sense so that she can bound across the party as she sees fit, giving kind of gives kind of the feeling of like a high fashion squid, right?
And all I can think is, how much is that dress worth?
Oh, from the color scheme, I was thinking it was like a peacock.
Mm.
That was the visual I was getting with the ribbons following behind also.
Think about that when it's down, right? When she's standing there, it's very much that peacock appearance. But when she jumps, those trail behind. If you've seen a picture of a peacock in flight, that's kind of that as well.
Sure.
Oswald, while you're out, could you try to put eyes on wherever Estelle's vehicle is?
The limo?
Yeah.
Yeah, can do.
So let's not rule that out as an option.
Oh yeah, I was already thinking that might be a good
Exit plan.
getaway / boost. Also, do we have any indication of who the red bandana folks here are other than Bosanaros, if he's even going to be here?
So from your talk the other day, you guys do know that Bosanaros himself is not here.
Mm.
He has his agents about.
Yeah.
Probably a majority of them are on the ship, right? But we know that we've got two that we can call on for our purposes. Do we think that there's some kind of mingling around doing just general servant work?
I don't know.
You imagine there's probably a few servants here that are red bandana.
Mm.
But based on how Bosanaros was talking about this, you imagine there's probably a few Arferi guards that are also under red bandana sway.
Okay.
But the sun is setting outside, and you can hear the voluminous chatter of people talking about nothing important and everything at the same time.
Our ferry, can I get a quick refresher on that?
So you guys are in the Arferi district, the north part of what is this giant Rethi city, so outside of Duskbanter.
Uh-huh.
These are more kind of effectively local guards. It's just the rich in this district own most of them or pay for most of them.
So it's like saying our ferry guards is like saying Burbank PD or...
Correct.
Okay.
But with a massive leap, she will go from the dance floor up into the entryway where you guys have walked in and are looking down on the party. Upon her arrival, she'll look to Lucius and then look over at Forrest.
And I'll give a slight bow.
Yeah, she'll curtsy back.
Estelle Del'Rose.
Estable?
We're here to serve. Here representing Dosh Protective Services.
Excellent. Well, I guess feel free to mingle and move about. If you see something, let me know immediately so that I can address this.
No problem. We have our feelers all over this place.
I appreciate it. And she'll leap off this top and back down into the dance floor.
Gotta get them out of that dress.
He said unsexfully.
Yeah, seriously.
You're like, I need a disguise, and you grab a prop pair of glasses that are just big dollar signs.
Thinking there's got to be some sort of laxative that would make somebody just need to take all their clothes off. It's gonna be that bad. Probably get that thought out of my head. On the inside, how well protected are valuables looking? I guess what I'm asking is, do we got like just guards kind of wandering around, or are there people just stationed all over the place? Or
Guards are stationed at pretty much every exit, entrance, and doorway, especially going into her office where the shop puts are. There's several guards as well as several banter support employees. You're probably
sounds
about
good.
6 in there.
So grumble, they took Dosh serious on putting some extra protection on the shot puts, which is fine.
Yeah, outside of the party with the music playing dulled in the background, Oswald. It's not hard to find her 8-seat limo parked over on the side with its own driveway and entrance exit into the property.
Is there a gate at the bottom of that driveway?
There is a gate, and there is one poor guy sitting on top of the hood having a cigarette.
And is that gate currently open or closed?
It is closed.
Okay. Is there like a security booth down there, or does it look like it's got to be like manually or maybe remotely opened or closed, or?
From here next to the car, you cannot tell.
It's okay. Eventually I'll do an actual like fence walk and go check it out with my own eyeballs. I'll note that for later. I'm going to need to try and make friends with that dude.
But yeah, as you follow around the perimeter of the home, you can see that the area where the airship is still very heavily covered with the kind of large circus tent. There's posts put up with ropes between them to kind of block from people getting too close or peeking underneath the canopy. There are a few guards out here as well, but there's still a small contingent of servants that are working their way to the ship and bringing stuff on and taking stuff off.
Okay. At some point, I'm going to want to go into that big circus tent to check on the airship, but I'm not going to do it on my first pass. I want to do a couple rotations first so that the guards who are currently outside the tent kind of see me go by a few times and, become used to what I'm doing.
Okay.
And of course, trying to get a count of other security that's here.
Yeah, I mean, based on the size of the estate, you're guessing there's a little over a dozen security members that are visibly out there to just
Sure.
represent that, right?
Yeah, a dozen uniformed security folks of varying companies.
Correct. It is not hard to imagine, though, based on the size of this property, that there might be a few others.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're not exactly advertising our profession either. We're just in fancy suits. Yeah, like I say, I'll do a few laps just to kind of get everybody used to me being there.
Alrighty. Back inside, Fours and Lucius, as you guys head down into the main congregation area, you will pass by Agarani Kulthuranik, a high-end kind of dust banter socialite. Her blonde wavy hair, dark blue eyes. She's wearing a scarf that almost turns into a dress made of androgony skin, a rare and unique snake from the Corlean continent. She holds in her hand a glass of burning whiskey, probably of Illican make, as she sits around laughing and joking with a few other people. Nearby, to quote last episode, a man who looks like a sweaty Paul Giamatti will walk up, seeing Lucius carrying this massive, dire owlbear coat, and will face not flush, but you can see he's definitely sweating a little bit in here from it just being a lot of people in a confined area, and it being kind of cold out. We are at the end of winter, but it's still chilly. So, you can just give that to him. Did you miss the coat check?
I did see the coat check, but I do intend on being in and out of the building. And I hear there's festivities all around, so I don't mind holding it.
Not yet. Del'Rose says there's quite a surprise for us here in a few hours.
As I understand.
So cheers to you, sir. Then we'll
And
see you walking
to
up.
you.
You're welcome to give me a knowledge corporate, and you can apply your human bonus.
Do this.
Man flesh.
So with my human bonus, that should be a total of 21.
Okay. You know this gentleman is Algier Sanam. He runs a brewery in the Sordai district, Gavel Breweries. Severely in debt, though still continues to show up to these things because he's found ways of hiding it.
Okay.
But he wanders off to go talk with other people as you guys enter into the crowd.
I'm gonna smile and look at Lucius and say, I thought you didn't need a big coat to keep warm.
It's always best to be prepared. And as we're walking through, I'll admire things that are expensive and point them out to Force. Like, oh, this painting. Check
Oh,
out
yes?
the brush strokes.
Now, what do you know the artist?
Meh. How big is this painting?
You put this painting at the standard 36 by 24.
Okay, but yeah, the painting, as I recall, is one of the most valuable things here.
Yeah, Lucius, you can feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand up a little bit. As a man comes and stands next to you as you admire the painting with Fours. Average height, though his suit kind of makes him feel larger. Black hair with salt and pepper streaks to it. Well-trimmed beard and dark eyes. You can see the business suit that also doubles over as the evening wear. A fine black on black with a red tie. It's only at certain angles that you notice that the suit he's wearing has hints of dark blue to it, and in the flash of light, the faint pattern of Ammon Advancements logo can be seen as the sheen passes over it. There's no check needed for this, as you recognize this man as the CEO of Ammon Advancements, Ty Freyland.
Ty Freyland.
Is his suit pinstripes?
It is. When the light crosses over it, you can just faintly see the AA in those stripes.
So that's pretty much what I'll do. My head will slowly look over and then just kind of in awe, like, Ty Freyland.
He looks back at you. Both of you can give me a sense motive check if you like.
I'm not trying to do anything weird with the sense motive. I don't see myself talking this sense motive better with any bard powers, so I'm just going to keep this normal. And I got a total of 20.
I got a total of 26.
Awesome. So yeah, especially in your line of work, paying attention to people is key, right? And though Typh obviously feels like he's doing it very smoothly as he does kind of a wide gesture with his hand as he reaches out, slowly putting his hand out for a shake, you can see the telltale signs that he's using his sliver. Oh,
Okay.
Lucius Estelle. And this must be For's Kella?
My eyebrow will raise. Our reputation precedes us.
I'll lean in for a handshake.
Pleasure to meet both of you. You look stunning, For.
Oh, thank you. So he's basically got a van full of people Googling everybody that he's looking at and feeding that information into his ear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Yep, that is 100% what you get from this interaction. especially with the 26.
Yeah.
You were 100% get it. Like, Lucius is 90% sure, like, he was pretty quick on that, but there's no
for
reason.
us.
That phrasing is straight off my wiki.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what brings somebody like you to a party like this?
Oh, honestly, I get invited to these things all the time. If I don't make an appearance, people will be upset.
Well, is there something you'd rather be doing?
Oh, there's always work to be done. A CEO never sleeps. We're some of the hardest working people you know.
And the smartest.
And the
Oh
smartest.
my god. Just throw him down a well.
He smiles, and his smile's a lot of teeth, but no joy. There's no mirth in this.
No smile in the eyes.
Yeah, but it's a smile that, if you saw it, you'd assume a person was smiling.
Mm.
Especially carrying over For's your sense motive of 26. There is an odd moment you notice here of as servants move past, they seem to be timed with what Typh wants. Like, do you all want a drink? As he reaches back and there's somebody there with a drink already ready. Or if you guys have said no, it's almost imperceptible how quickly the person goes away without his direct interaction.
Hmm.
So you're Xavier's younger brother, is that right?
I am. Have you had dealings with him?
I have. He's a very impressive man. He helped me with a legal matter recently.
Yeah, that is his forte.
Oh, is he going to be here tonight?
No, Xavier, I believe, is still busy. He turned down the invitation I offered. It's not common for people to turn me down.
Awkwardly chuckle.
Yeah, I'll give a polite chuckle.
Yeah.
Seeing you guys chuckle, he'll chuckle with you like, oh, that was funny, wasn't it? We're having fun.
Yeah, chuckles just kind of slow down. Just, oh.
I love this painting, actually. I wish I could take it, right?
I'll give a nice big laugh to that. Oh.
I have to go meet up with Madame Del'Rose. If you ever choose to sell your company, Lucius, maybe you could become professional retrievers. I'm sure we have an opening.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to part. I'm sure I'll think about that.
Oh, and next time bring As he looks away for a moment, what was his name? Oswald. I'm always happy to see a Raylan succeed. And he will drift into the crowd, away from you all and towards Estelle Del'Rose. And just kind of like watching him walk away, it's kind of like you're watching like a shark go through a school of fish. Nobody seems to step in his way. Everybody seems to be always in the correct place to not interfere with his passage. He never slows a step or seems to have to step around anyone, but he will disappear into the crowd as you guys are in front of the painting.
He has reached creepy Tom Cruise levels of existence.
Outside Oswald, a couple of the guards are going to, hey, you want a cigarette?
I will say yes because I won't be thinking through the inevitable consequences of me going for a cigarette right now.
Yeah, so a couple of guards will hand you a cigarette as they all stand around.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm doing it to make friends and be nice, and I'm gonna hack immediately at what is probably my first cigarette.
But yeah, they'll make small talk with you. And what do they got you on?
Kind of everywhere.
Are you on the ship detail? Or
No.
he'll look around a bit as though he's worried for a second that maybe one of the guests overheard him. But you guys are far enough away.
Yeah. I'll say no. I mean, I'm supposed to like check on it every so often, but I'm not like dedicated to it. Are you?
No, I didn't win that draw.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
No.
And at this point, I'll look around kind of sneakily and say, "Do you wanna?"
An enticing offer. Go ahead and give me a diplomacy.
Okay. I rolled a natural 1 for a 5.
They take the cigarette back.
Jesse, it's only been almost 24 hours in real life since the last time your character got in trouble.
This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
You were literally yelled at by your boss this morning.
I know.
There's no invisible trucks this time. Or so we think. Dun 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 dun.
Until I find out there's an invisible truck on the airship.
Yeah, the guy who gave you a cigarette will kind of like, whoa, calm down. The fuck you talking about? Do you know how fast we'll get canned? You'll never work in the Art Ferry District again.
All right. No worries. I figured maybe I could sneak you in. I'm allowed to go in there at least, occasionally.
You must be on loan or something.
With DPS. We got kind of a, like I say, we're a little bit of everything.
Yeah, they all kind of look at each other and never heard of that.
I'll shrug. All right. Well, if you change your mind, I'll be around. Thanks for the cigarette, and I'll continue on.
Yeah, they kind of watch as you walk away. You can tell there's a little bit there now where they're a little suspicious.
Mm-hmm. As far as I know, we actually do have some kind of weird contract as DPS to provide security for this thing. I know that's all a front, but
That's what the official story is, and so if they asked around,
right,
they would get that confirmation back from somebody eventually, theoretically.
exactly.
Okay, but what else are you up to out here?
At some point, I would like to. I think I will go check out that gate that's at the bottom of the driveway for the limo, under the guise of verifying that it's secure. Trying to figure out how one would open it, whether there's like a keypad or somebody like manually moves it or what.
Okay, the end of that driveway is a fair distance away from the main home,
Mm-hmm.
but walking down there, not a problem. Yeah, you can see it's set up for an electronic signal to open, though with any one of these things, a disabled device would still allow you to pop it open because they have to for safety purposes, right?
Sure.
They can't for fire if a fire breaks out, you can't have everyone trapped inside.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'll spend a moment kind of looking at that and thinking through my plan of how I would disable that particular device. But then I'm gonna wander back up the driveway and go chat with the guy sitting on the hood of the limo, who I don't know if he's a guard or a driver or what, but yeah, I'll just go up and hand raise and say, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yeah, the shorter void will puff out his cigarette and pretty good. Just keeping an eye on the car. Tap the hood a couple times.
Mm-hmm. Is he wearing a uniform of some kind?
Yeah, it looks like the standard help uniform.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. I'm just, walking around, doing my rounds. Saw you out here by yourself. I'll kind of look up. And you said it's kind of chilly still?
Yeah, it's still chilly.
Yeah. Not much action down here, huh?
Yeah, he'll look back at you, and I mean, I hope not. I get paid to make sure this car doesn't move, and unless they ask me to move it.
Yeah, no worries. I get it. You hungry at all? You want me to see if I can steal you? Get you some food? Looked like some pretty tasty things on silver platters in there.
Yeah, he definitely looks through that window, and oh man, that'd be great.
All right. I'll see what I can do. Next time I go through, I'll see if I can grab a little extra and bring some mounts for you.
Hell yeah. Thanks for doing that, man.
Mm-hmm. No worries, dude. All right. See you in a few, and I'll
Yep.
continue on my way.
Yeah, you can hear the jingle of ads on his phone as he goes back to watching videos.
All right.
All right, back inside. Estelle will hold up a glass and kind of tap a fork against the edge of it. Greetings, everyone, and thank you. Thank you so much for coming out today. A couple things. Sadly, the madam will not be able to join us, but we do have the Lord of Duskbanter, the CEO of Ammon Advancements, Ty Freyland here. Please enjoy the foods and refreshments, and once the sun's finally set and down, we have an amazing surprise for everyone in the garden. The party will officially end at midnight, but for those that like to go late, we'll have music and servants working until noon. She'll twirl and jump up into the air while cleaning the glass so everyone claps and cheers. Before you'll see a couple people that their dress stands out a bit differently as they approach with a very large case. And they'll bow to her, and though Madame Sangari unfortunately was not able to make it, she did send a gift. She's in the middle of a previous engagement, and they'll hold up a very long silver and mithril filigreed war scythe with an adamantium blade. They'll announce to her that this is supposedly the Hand of Gulshern, one of the ancient gods that once ruled this land. And she'll, of course, make a big show of, oh my god, it's wonderful, and so go in my private office, I'll put it next to the shot puts. She happily claps. They will head towards the office with the case, but she will stay here in the middle of all the people. You'll hear Fiero Browncoat, a halfling nearby, hanging out with his Corlean friend, Crunk, say, we just need a few more and we can play croquet.
No one laughs. How very tasteful.
But the halfling will reach back and grab another whiskey, and the party will resume where it was. But Forrest, you said you had something?
Description-wise, I had a few questions. One was, did anyone clap when Type was called out? And did anyone laugh when Madame Sangari's previous engagement was called out? I was just curious if what the reactions were to in the room to
Yeah, people held up glasses to cheers Type's arrival, which he will bask in the glow of everyone having to cheers to him. But there's chuckled whispers between people about Madame Sangari. Nothing loud enough, like it's that moment of somebody makes an in-joke in a crowd of people, and everyone's kind of like, oh, that was funny. But they don't want to say it too loud so that it's ruined for other people who don't know the joke.
Okay.
It gives a very, Mean Girls vibe to it all.
Right. / someone reacting to Ricky Gervais and the Golden Globes or wherever.
Yeah. I mean, you also know it's kind of, from what you guys have heard on the news as well, you know that Reginald Arvori has been hiring and working with Banter Support. So the fact that she has them hired here working for her maybe implies a little bit less about her likings of Madame Sangari.
All right. That's which side she's on.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And she's got a god scythe now.
She does. She'll send those people off to her office. You'll put it in there as she resumes moving about between groups and checking on people, as you two are in the middle here watching as nearby Okani Clash is showing off both of her guns to the closest people that are willing to listen, as she is explaining that these are Black Cat originals. They don't make them like this anymore, and she'll twirl them about.
Are they like antiques?
They are. They look well taken care of, oiled. You can see magical runes on them, made to help keep them functioning. But yes, these are antique kind of six-shooters in a world that, well, you know, your gun is just better.
Right.
But you never put it past the rich and the enchantments they can afford.
Yeah. Also, antique or not, you can get the bullet where you want to go. That's all you need.
As we kind of continue with the party, I'd like to fall back on fours and say, hey, kind of prop me up socially. I'm going to kind of look around. I'll be kind of concentrating on walls and stuff like that a little bit more than somebody would do because I'm casting Detect Secret Doors.
So just cover for you? Cover for you?
Yeah, in case anybody wants to come talk to us, just take lead. I'll be kind of focusing on looking for...
You'll be staring at walls?
A little bit like that, just looking around more than it should be.
All right. I'll be your eyes then.
The areas that I would hope to find secret doors would hopefully be around that office. but where the shock puts and the scythe are going to be stored. But
Mm-hmm.
it would be super freaking convenient, maybe. But anything might give us an edge.
Yeah, that has a 60-foot cone, correct?
I believe so.
To quote Dice of Thunder, it's time to check the chungus.
Checking the chungus. That's right. We're Thunder Buddies here.
And I guess they get to be big compadres.
Big compadre.
Yeah, I think that works.
So yeah, minute I can do this for about 5 minutes. It's kind of walking around, 60-foot cone-shaped emanation.
As your detect secret doors drifts across the windows and past the vases and art pieces, past people and food trays, sculptures of fantastical beasts made out of ice, and of course a chocolate fountain. Every fancy place has to have a chocolate fountain.
Only one?
It's actually 4 bags of holding pouring into each other, so it's just an infinite Mobius strip of flowing chocolate.
Hopefully they have a whiskey fountain somewhere.
The Whiskey Mobius has been shut down ever since last year.
I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't inquire about a butter Mobius.
Lucius, your detect secret doors will trigger. There are 2 of them in the office room. One against the back wall that seems to go to the outside, and another one that seems to be next to the desk. It looks like it would go underneath the floor that you entered in on.
Sounds good. It looks like I can see how to operate it. If I can see it from here, awesome. If I need to be up close, then...
While I'm walking with you, I've got your arm and I'm doing some like instructive narration. Like, okay, we're looking at art now, kind of driving the act.
Yeah, no, the spell gives you the information you need from 60 feet away.
oh, fantastic.
The one that goes to the outside, you know that there's a small foot pedal next to the bookshelf. The one that goes underneath the floor you entered in on, it looks like there are 2 books that have to be pulled out at the same time on top of a dresser.
And I will sliver to Forrest and tell him about those 2 books and the pedal. Let you know we've got some secret doors that we can try to work with, and that might be something that could work for us here.
All right, good to know. We've got access.
How long until the unveiling? A couple more hours?
At this point, you'd probably say about an hour.
Sounds good. I'd like to, with that, I'd say, all right, Forrest, let's see if we can't look into this shock put area a little bit more before we create our distraction. I'll say this over Sliver, thinking that I'm safe to do so. And then hopefully with extra time, we can try to maybe scope out some of the other items that could be around here, but heading towards the office area to establish ourselves as DPS and stuff and meet up with the guards.
Perfect. As you guys head in, we jump back to outside. Oswald, as you're walking around the outside here, a couple of the other guards from before, they don't as casually engage with you on this next loop around. But you can definitely see as we're getting closer, an hour until supposedly surprise time. You can definitely see there's a bunch of those servants now are starting to, the ones that don't have to be on the ship anymore aren't. They're waiting off to the side in kind of a designated area where they won't go inside and bother the fancy folk.
Okay. I think then now is probably my best opportunity to go inside that circus tent and just take a look at the airship from the ground. I don't think I'm going to try and board it, but I am going to act as though it's part of my job to just verify that everything looks in order.
Okay. Yeah, go and give me that stealth check, as it were, for you to find and the stealth check is not so much not to be seen. A lot of people aren't going to be able to see you, but it's more so finding a safe place for you to be able to launch up into the air to get to where you need to go. We'll put this in a DC 20. There are spotlights about. There are guards walking around.
Okay. Got a 25.
Excellent. So yeah, with the 25, you're able to time it right so you can launch yourself like you've done before up on top of the circus tent and drip down like a spider onto the ship below.
Cool. Before I get all the way down to the ship, I want to pull out my phone, ensure that my flash is turned off, and take a selfie of myself with the airship behind me.
Perfect. You do.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to try and go into the ship. I'm just trying to get a vibe check of how much activity there is on the ship and see if I don't think I'm going to recognize any of the red bandana folks here.
Yeah, this top deck, you can see that there are people double checking bolting tables to the floor.
Okay.
You can see where they're kind of like making sure grooves are set in so that plates won't move when it takes off. And yes, you would see this is where they are currently plugging in, filling up, and setting up the whiskey fountain.
After party. Got it. All right, so it does look like they're preparing for launch.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
You would hear casually, like one person walk by, 1 hour left, 1 hour left. Get this ready, folks.
Interesting. That does tell me something. It means they're using more than just the Mercadine crew to get things done, because they would be communicating over Sliver.
Correct.
Okay, that's good enough for me. I'm not going to press my luck with the airship, so I will exit the circus tent at this point, and I think my next stop is to try and do a circuit inside.
Okay. Yeah, looping around, like before with the rest of your group, you will go to enter in, but you'll be stopped at the front door, as you will see the 2 guards that come out first. These do not look like the Arfairy guards. These do not look like anybody here. Go ahead and give me a perception.
Alrighty. Total of 15.
With a 15, nothing seems to be amiss, but it still feels wrong. The 2 guards that come out look like some of the biggest and strongest Corleans you've ever seen.
Okay.
Their suits look like the shoulder edges could cut a man.
Mm.
They notice you almost instantly coming out from behind peekers, but you'll see kind of behind them the average height, salt and pepper black hair, and the form of Typh Rayland as he, let's get out of here. I'm tired of this party. He looks over at you for a moment, no recognition, of course, and he doesn't introduce himself.
If I make eye contact with him, I'll nod and make as though to just pass him by.
As you make eye contact, you nod, and he continues to walk away from you. You're left with a resonating feeling, a feeling like the sword had over you when you were taken over. But a little worse, like a tune that Typh has that nobody else seems to be able to hear, but you do, and everybody moves to it. And it's kind of stuck in your head.
Oh, good. So now my nightmares are going to have a soundtrack. I love it.
But you will see Typh and his 2 guards. They stand there as that valet takes off sprinting to run to the first car.
Yeah.
And bring up the Hedron vehicle as Typh gets in, and they proceed to head out. But the front door is open as the
interesting timing.
Yeah, the coat checker guy will look out and, hey.
Yep, and I'll nod and say, hey, how's it going? And
good, it's cold out there.
Though I'm not intending to stop at all.
Do you want me to take your, and he'll look you up and down.
No, I'm good.
And he is good too.
I'll try and stay to the edges of the rooms as I go through. I don't want to attract too much attention as I'm going through this party.
Sure. Are you trying to meet up at all with the rest of your crew, or?
Not exactly, no. I'm counting on Sliver to be able to communicate with them. If I see them, I'll make a little head nod just to verify that we see each other, but I'm not trying to meet up with them right now.
Okay. Yeah, you can see Fours and Lucius over by close to the offices. They're both pointing at things on the walls and talking, and a couple people nearby are chatting up Fours. But you will be able to make your way down into the crowd of people. Conversations are happening. People make room for you. Servants walk by with drinks and food.
Yep. I do want to try and leave the inside with a couple drinks in hand, but I think it's a little early to grab them.
Yeah, a little bit of a drunk halfling with a well-manicured and styled mohawk. Well, why the hell are you dressed like that?
He's clearly addressing me. I'll say, I'm on the clock, as though that explains everything, and just continue walking.
Yeah, he'll laugh and turn to his Corlean friend and, what the hell are we mining for here?
If I can spot the other valuables, I think it'd be useful for me to have my own independent eyes on their situation. The rings and the vase. And
sure, go and give me an appraise.
So my untrained eyes got a 22 on that appraise.
Yeah. So looking around, the things that will stand out is a set of kind of clear rings with emeralds set into them on a pedestal. Oh, that matches up with kind of what you've heard. As far as the vases go, you're pretty sure you know the one. It's got kind of a blue geometric pattern going around the base as well as the top. And it does look a little bit cleaner than the other vases you've seen.
Can I tell which painting it is that supposedly is super valuable?
With the natural 20, you would guess it's the one that has the most people kind of looking at it.
Makes sense. Rich people like rich stuff.
So these are all really good assumptions. Like your character's on point.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that your character would have a very good guesswork for price.
Makes sense. Those look fancy. All those rich people like that rich painting. That's probably it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of that.
Okay, then yeah. I think that's mainly what I wanted to be able to see as I did a pass through. I'm gonna try to figure out how to smuggle some alcohol out of here for that driver sitting on the limo hood.
Yeah, you're able to look around and you can see that it looks like Estelle has sponsored a whole bunch of small individual champagne bottles that are all meant to pop off, probably for the surprise later. You are able to find small individual bottles of champagne that look like there's enough here for 3 for every guest.
Ooh.
Designed obviously with the idea that when big surprise happens, everyone gets their own bottle to pop open or break or do what they want with.
Sure. Okay. And I'm also gonna assume that at a place like this, they're gonna have spares. So I'm gonna try and snag a few of those and stash them in pockets.
Are these like travel bottles?
That's what I'm picturing.
Think a little bit larger, in between a real bottle and a travel bottle. Yeah, imagine this is like a custom item built for a party. You're supposed to have your own champagne bottle, or that's how it should feel.
It's the personal pan pizza of champagne.
Exactly, as people often refer to champagne as personal pan pizzas.
Ah. Well, whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna steal some booze.
All right. Yeah, with a busy setting like this, with lots of people and servants going about, no one's going to stop and question somebody grabbing alcohol.
Cool.
You know, if you were taking it to a weird place, maybe, but no one's going to stop and that guy has 2 plates.
Yeah. All right. Then I'm gonna try and snag 3 bottles of the mini champagne, assuming those are the size I'm picturing. And then I'm gonna look for the kitchen or food prep area and look for bottles of other spirits. Ideally, I'd like to lift a bottle of whiskey.
They look on with, I don't have time for this. Cool. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
I try. I got a 27.
Perfect. Yeah, there's nobody here who's going to have a perception high enough to or care that much to be like, oh no, that security guard's taking booze. You know, it's officially not my job.
And with that, I will make my way out.
Excellent. Yeah, it's chilly out here as you get out. It's definitely very warm in that party.
I'll be heading back towards the limo, whatever's the shorter part of the loop I've been doing. I don't want to like make a straight line there to make it super obvious that's where I'm going, but that is where I'm going.
Okay. It's not long before you find yourself at the limo again as guys pacing around the outside of it, kind of just walking to keep his limbs warm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I'll come up and say, well, I couldn't grab any food. They were kind of weird about me, like holding plates and whatnot, but I did grab, and I'll pull out the bottle of whiskey and hand it over to him.
Okay, and you still have the 3 bottles of champagne on you and stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yep, those are in reserve.
Yeah, the guy will excitedly look at it and we'll give him a quick little sense motive, but really he doesn't care.
Right. Free whiskey? Okay.
Yeah. Sure. I rolled a natty 1 on a D100. I'll count that as an extra 1.
Underlined 1.
He'll open up one of the side doors, reach in, pull out a couple cups.
Nice. I'll make as though I'm like interested to see what the inside of this limo looks like. I'm not trying to get in, just like looking in through the open door.
Oh yeah, the inside of here has small coolers. There's definitely there's alcohol in here that looks to be carefully regimented and set out.
Sure. So people would notice if that was gone.
Exactly.
You take napkins from the stack and not from the ones that have been folded into swans.
Exactly.
But yeah, he'll pour the whiskey into 2 cups and cheers, my man.
Cheers.
Oh yeah, I'm Zedix.
I'll shake his hand. I'm Oswald.
Nice. And he'll cheers and slam it back.
Yep. I don't think I'll slam it, but I definitely will drink it kind of quick. And I'll say, hey, I'll catch another one on my next loop, yeah?
Yeah. I'll pour you another one. He'll be waiting.
All right. And I will continue on my loop with every hope that Zedix is going to continue to drink whiskey without me.
Very well. We return back to the party at hand. Oswald has gone outside and delivered some whiskey to the driver of Del'Rose's limo. But inside, Lucius and Fours.
Now's probably as good as time as any for us to walk into the office area to inspect the shock puts and the scythe.
Yeah, you'll be confronted by a couple of our ferry guards that will stop you and demand identification.
I'll shake hands and give it.
Yeah, they look it over and, oh, yeah, you're the
Third party.
third party.
Yep, just looking over the security in the room, the overall appearance of it all.
All right, go and give me a diplomacy.
Doing our job.
You can't even roll as low as I did. I have faith in you.
I roll a 21 total, attempting to get our way in.
It's not hard to get in. It is just that the guards here are kind of keeping an eye on you a little bit.
Sounds good. And yeah, just kind of walk around, just inspecting things, not touching anything, and making my way towards the back of the room.
Okay.
Perhaps Fours, maybe you can come up with a light distraction just speaking with these guys. My ultimate goal is to try to set my coat down in the back of the room somewhere and not have them remember that I did that. Have it be like a nonchalant kind of thing. My coach just kind of hanging out right there. That's my goal right now.
Okay. So then I will need a distraction from fours. If the distraction is successful, then a bluff check from you.
Who's guarding in here?
There are 6 guards in here.
Okay.
For our fairy to banter.
All right. Are they bored looking?
Most of them aren't. The couple that you guys originally talked to, or like you guys aren't full suspicious, right? They're not following you around the store to make sure you're not stealing anything.
Right.
But they're used to just being the 6 of them kind of standing in here, so 2 more people makes them kind of want to look more like guards, right?
Which makes sense. When they are being guards, are they just kind of sat around or stood around?
Yeah, it's a lot of standing around and kind of bullshitting.
Sounds good.
They're having to look like they're busy.
Right. Like the fact you guys are there, your third party, may mean that you're there to prevent stealing like they are, but you also might be there to watch them.
Right.
Oh, yep. Undercover boss type of thing.
Exactly.
So, okay. I'm going to just go for that angle. And as I look around the room, I'm looking for if there's a surveillance system in place that is like obvious. And I imagine there would be in here regardless, but
Yeah, there are 3 obvious cameras, 2 behind her desk that seem to project over her desk towards in front of it, and 1 on the back side of the door you entered into, so one that looks at her desk. Effectively kind of covering the room, but at no point would it show what she'd be working on at her computer or on her desk.
okay, that's the blind spot.
Correct.
All right. I'm approaching one of the guards in sort of a official looking stride, and I'll extend my hand.
They'll lower their auto rifle and
Yeah, I'll extend my hand for a handshake.
yeah.
Fours with the security consulting. I'm checking the surveillance systems, making sure all these cameras are actually operating.
Oh, have you checked with the surveillance room on the 3rd floor?
And I'm going to... Are these guys wearing like lanyards or anything like that?
Yeah,
Okay. Did they give them to us?
correct. You guys would have them.
So I'll go, okay, and my eyes will kind of drift gently as I look like I'm doing a calculation, and then I'll hold up my lanyard. I'll be like, this will get me through on the 3rd floor?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Through Sliver, I'll probably, when I have a chance, say it would be really good to not have cameras in this room.
Yeah, through via Sliver, I'll let you know where the blind spot is in the room in case you need to cloak something.
My hope, if things on a good day, is that we're going to be able to stash these shock puts inside my jacket. But disabling the cameras might be another option.
Sure.
As Fours is kind of speaking, I'm going to be setting up unseen servants in the area. Kind of just in corners or maybe even just near the shock puts. I don't see anybody having the need to just go right up to them.
Yeah, none of them are within like arm's reach of it. They have no reason to.
Would it be too much in the space to have like maybe 3 unseen servants?
Let's do this. Go and give me a bluff check. We'll do DC 15, and for every 5 you beat that, you can do 1 extra one.
So we're gonna attempt a bluff check. Da-na-na-na. I got a 20.
Okay, so you can make 2.
2 sounds good. These guys are gonna be here. I don't intend on leaving this area within that 40 feet until the distraction happens, and hopefully these things are able to load up the as many shock puts as they can inside my code.
Right. Outside of this room, while you and Fours are working, as well as poor Oswald outside, you guys will all hear a couple gunshots go off as you hear people clap and laugh.
I'm like, oh shit. Oh, wait, right.
The antiques.
But yeah, Lucius, you were able to cast that in Fours. What were you up to?
Basically, just by being somewhat of a burden. As far as doing the job that I need to do, and I haven't been put in touch with the proper channels, and I'm making it their problem.
Go ahead and give me a skill check. We'll start at DC 10, and then every 5 above that, you can distract an additional guard. So I don't know if this is something like you're using computer use because you're going to be talking to them about camera specifics in a way to like, they're like, oh God, man, please go talk to the nerds. Like, leave me alone. Or if you're going to try to do something with a different skill, just however you'd like to try to create the distraction so that Lucius can make the bluff to drop off the coat without anyone noticing.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds like it's probably going to be the way to go. My eyes were swooping over my better skills and thinking, okay, can I How could you possibly describe it that way? I was like, no, the computer use sounds legit. So yeah, we'll be grilling it about their network security, and with a flinging jargon with a 24.
Okay, so you've got about half the people here all kind of either listening or focused on you as you're bugging this one guy. As he's trying to like, well, no, I mean, I think they're Mark III from, I think they look like OmniMart cameras, I think. I don't know.
What are these? Just consumers straight off the shelf? Seriously?
As the other three are trying to like, oh my God, fucking third party. That's what they're here for, cameras.
We're the low voltage guys.
So Lucius, that means you only have to bluff effectively 3 of these guys.
All right. Are you after a bluff check for me now?
Yeah, bluff check or however you like. You said you want to drop off the coat in a way that it doesn't stand out or they don't notice it. So I would take a sleight of hand or a bluff check.
This sounds more like a sleight of hand thing. I'm slightly worse at sleight of hand, but seeing as Forrest is doing most of the talking, I'm gonna try not to bluff my way into this to try to create more of a distraction. I think I'm gonna just sleight of hand this.
Okay.
We're gonna hope for the best on this. Oh, I got a 9. That's rough.
What about your 2019 lightsaber?
So yeah, as you sit down your massive dire owlbear coat on the back of this chair, couple of things here. One, you will catch that there is a picture on her desk that has her, Madame Sangari, some Lycal, a halfling, a Corlean, and an Illican on it. But you'll be brought back out of looking at that for the moment, as one of the guards will be like, hey, whoa, what are you doing touching that?
Oh, sorry. I will put it back, and I will, I guess, get up from the desk area and back up from it. I'll set my coat down and grab the picture, though, afterwards, after looking at it for a second, like, wait a second. Is this who I think it is? As I point onto the picture at any one of them. And now I tried to create
Amazing.
distraction.
Distraction volleyball.
Yeah.
As you bump it to 4s, we'll zoom outside to Oswald.
Yeah, I think it's about time that I give Lucius an update on the status of what I've been able to set up. I'm going to deliver to him that the limo is attended by one driver who is currently getting drunk. I'm sure I can pop the gate to get that limo out.
One
Looks like
second
you're-
on gates. Are we in a world where this gate is just going to open up for us?
From what it looked like to me, somebody's got to like put in a code or something. I'm sure I
Okay.
can get it open,
Right.
but I don't think it's going to be like a proximity thing as soon as the limo gets up there. It might be, but I wouldn't count on it.
For most modern day gates, sure, a code to get in, a pressure plate on the interior that just opens the gate for you. Just saying that we might be overthinking that depending on the technology we have going on right now.
Could be. Either way, I'm confident I can get the gate open.
All right.
Looks like the airship is getting ready to take off. I don't know if that means things are going on schedule, ahead of schedule.
We should be working somewhat close to schedule. Just now's the time to stick close and get ready to do what we can off the tip of our tongues, off the whatever of our cups. We're just
Okay.
gonna have to. Yeah.
Tongues of our cups.
Tongues of our
The tongues of our cups.
Yeah, whichever one of those works. It would be really cool to grab that painting, but hopefully things are going to go down in fashion where guards are going to be running all around this place before they set off their festivities. The main attraction. I want to have the red bandanas create their distraction.
Okay. What about the wrecker? If we're leaving in the limo, is the plan to leave the wrecker behind?
Right now, maybe.
Do you want me to try and get the keys for the wrecker?
It'd be a good idea.
Oswald,
Okay.
while you're outside, currently
Mhm.
speaking with Lucius,
Mm-hmm.
you will hear a halfling voice kind of laugh, like, "Oh, look at you! I'm surprised you were able to step away from your father's trust fund for this long." Before you hear the angry voice of a void, they come whipping around the corner. "You want to say that to my face? I'll beat the hell out of you!"
Ah.
As you can see, a Corlean trying to get between a halfling and a void. They're yelling at each other in the garden.
Guessing this is Seven Delam, Fiora Browncoat, and Crunk.
Correct.
Okay. This is in the garden, huh?
Correct.
Does it look like there's other like security guard type folks around who are taking note of this?
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay, I think this is probably going to be a good distraction then for me to try and lift the keys for the wrecker. Because if there's anybody peeling off from anywhere, that means there's a lighter security presence in other places.
They're in the garden. There's plenty of guards about.
Ah, okay.
But if you're trying to go for like the valet, you could probably find them by themselves. Or
That's kind of what I'm hoping. Yeah.
okay,
Before I get to the valet, I wanted to ask when Zitex opened the limo to get the glasses, was the limo locked?
it did not seem to be locked for him.
Okay. Trying to get a sense of whether the keys to the limo are on him or whether they're somewhere else. But if he can get in the limo, that's probably good enough. So yeah, I'm gonna head to the valet and see if I can get access to the keys to the wrecker.
Yeah, as you leave behind the Corleone currently getting punched in the face by the void, as the halfling continues to make fun of his ridiculous gold uniform.
Yeah, I don't see much good coming out of trying to intervene in that.
You'd hear another round of shots go off as people cheer, as the sound of like shattering plates, as somewhere a drunk person is probably throwing dishes for Clash to shoot.
Okay, good. People are getting a little looser, a little drunker. That means the security folks are going to have more to pay attention to.
But yes, you'll find the valet currently sitting there, bullshitting with Chira.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna try the straight approach and just ask, "Hey, can I get the keys to the DPS vehicle?"
Do you have your ticket, sir?
I'll shoot him a look.
This Illigan's maybe like 4 years younger than you.
Yeah. I'll say, "No, man, my boss has the ticket. That's why he sent me to get the keys. He's in the party."
Geez. You want to give me a diplomacy or a bluff, something to put him at ease.
Okay. I'll try.
It's a schmuck kid with a schmuck job.
Exactly. And I'm a slightly older schmuck kid with a slightly less schmucky job. I got a 19 on my diplomacy.
Yeah, you make the argument. You're wearing the nice clothes. You have the you have this cool suit as he's looking at it. This weird backpack.
I'll like flap this like lanyard in his face. Like, look, dude, I'm. Come on, you can see I'm working here.
Oh, right. And Chira will. Oh yeah, no, he's with DPS. Oh, okay. He'll reach into his coat and pull out just a pile of keys.
Jesus.
Not too long, but he sorts them all out pretty quick. He's like, and L3. Here you go.
And as he's sorting all these out, can I get a sense of like what keys might go with what other things? Is that how keys work?
No, and it looks like they're all based on kind of location. Like
Okay.
row L, unit 3. You know.
Okay, got it. In that case, is there a key that does not have one of those locations on it and therefore might be for the limo?
No, he does not have the valet. He's not the driver for the limo.
Okay, yeah, I don't know where the keys are kept, so yep, makes sense though. Just needed to check that box. Okay, then yeah, I'll thank him. I'll nod to Chira. There's definitely awkwardness there.
Yeah, she just stares at you for a bit and watches you walk away.
I know, she knows. I don't know what to. I don't know what I can say to make it anything better. I feel like I need to know where L3 is. I don't need to go all the way to the car necessarily if I can figure it out from where I'm at, but I might need to.
No, it doesn't take you too long once you kind of like, okay, these are guests, and guests usually go through like A through M, and then the help section is like L through P, and then looks like there's like transportation vehicles past that.
Okay, cool. As long as I feel confident I know where the wrecker is if I end up being the one to need to go to it. I'll ping Lucius on the sliver and say, I have the keys to the wrecker.
Great.
Oh, there's also, looks like a fight brewing outside between some of the party guests. Don't know if you can use that, but...
Don't know if we can either.
In the garden in particular. And with that, I'm going to continue doing my perimeter walk.
Alrighty, back inside. Fours. Lucius has just grabbed the picture off the desk. 2 guards are approaching nearby. The 3 are kind of like, just go upstairs, please. I'm sorry.
That sounds reasonable. Can I get any of these people interested in going with me to the 3rd floor?
I would need a pretty successful diplomacy check.
Okay, that's not going to be worth my time.
Yeah, to get them to leave their spot. Not saying you can't.
Yeah. No, yeah, that would just be. I feel like not a good return on investment there.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right, and then I'll just double check with them. Okay, 3rd floor, and I'll kind of do a little run around with directions to the room.
Okay. So leaving Lucius behind.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not hard to ask one of the workers here, showing them your lanyard and saying, "Hey, I need access to the 3rd floor."
Mm-hmm.
They will definitely point you that way and lead you upstairs. There's a group here of, it's like 2 Lycals and a halfling that are just kind of looking at a bunch of monitors and hanging out. This room kind of reeks of cigarettes, and you can see plates of food laying all about. Like they've been getting stuff brought up to them before all 3 of them will kind of stop and look at you with that. When you've been looking at a monitor too long, like the eyes really dilated, and they're like, "Who are you?"
I'll flip on the lights.
Oh God.
Yeah, all 3 of them.
So mean.
Why?
And then I'll flip them back off after they get done writhing. Security consulting, just doing my due diligence.
Yeah, there's a small chorus of "fuck."
And yeah, I'll just kind of hover over them and do a little bit of backseat driving and just bug them. But while I'm doing that, I'm paying attention to what angles are being covered elsewhere in the party, and if I see any crazy shit going on, or if I notice anything, I can sliver to the fellas.
You see the fight in the garden. You see the people outside throwing dishes while they get shot. You can see the valet chatting with Shira. You can see inside of the canopy as they're getting the ship ready. You can see there's a few cameras inside the ship.
Mm-hmm. Like below decks?
Correct, below decks that like go down hallways to kind of show areas.
Okay, neat. Yeah, what's going on on the ship?
Yeah, right now it looks like a lot of setup, right? There's a lot of Mercadine dressed people moving to and fro. See a lot of workers on there as well. It seems pretty busy, especially because there's only about 20 minutes left till this is supposed to take off. Still seems like there's a lot of activity.
Where you think they would have had that shit wrapped up?
Yeah, especially kind of from what you've talked with these guys from the previous day, that they were prepping yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So, but of course, any giant party, there's a few cameras that show like a couple making out the billiards room.
The wings of the house that's supposed to be off limits to guess.
Correct, yeah.
The library on the 3rd floor.
Exactly, stuff like that. There is one camera room that simply shows a set of stairs that simply seem to be descending into darkness.
Oh, what's the label on the angle?
There's not like a full label. Like there's like the other ones where it says like library, west room, north room, office, blah, blah, blah. This one just says E1.
Okay.
It doesn't have a label, Sean, but the label says this.
This is an unnamed identifier.
I got a feeling that's our secret passage.
Yeah, I'm gonna look around for an E2 and
Go and
see
give
it.
me a perception check.
Okay.
Yeah, can we rename that camera feed to SP1, Secret Passage 1?
I'm going to perceive around with a 20.
Excellent. With the 20, you can see the E1 has 2 settings below it. It looks like it's one feed for one screen, but there's 3 cameras tied to it.
Okay. And I can cycle through them?
Yeah, pressing down on it, you can go to 2 secondary cameras.
So one of them leads into darkness. Are the other ones similar?
So as you reach over to that, we cut over to Lucius.
I'm going to get yelled at.
You're gonna be fine, just don't go chasing down freaking waterfalls or invisible trucks.
Those are 2 things we don't stand for in this company. But Lucius, you're surrounded by guards, no longer distracted by fours. What do you do?
I try to get an answer on whether or not this is who I think it is in this picture.
Yeah, one of them will lean forward and who?
And I will, so we have like pretty much someone of every race, right? Who's...
Everyone but Void or Artori.
Everyone but Void. Do I have an idea of who the humans are?
Yeah, you recognize one of them as Estelle Del'Rose. The other one is Madame Sangari.
Okay. So I knew that. I guess I'll point to Sangari and say, wasn't Sangari just in a house war?
See how up to date this guy is on his local gossip. Not at all. So, you probably, I don't know.
Well, let me tell you. Now I'm going into the house wars. Anyways.
Oh, you're going to talk his ear off about that one Ron Perlman movie you had us watch?
The Mutant Chronicles.
The Mutant Chronicles.
Yes. Best movie ever.
It's got mutants. It's got chronicles.
I don't know if it's got chronicles. Let's take a step back from that, all right? So on my own now, just trying to do my best to be able to just leave my stupid freaking coat where it is and have them forget about it as I walk out and start setting up the distraction for the main event.
Yeah, the guy will listen to you and kind of like, oh man, okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to walk into this.
You guys are about 10 minutes away from the unveiling.
So this would make a good point then for me to be like, oh wait, hold on a second. And I'll set the picture down and I've got something and I'll have to walk outside as if I'm taking a call. I'll pull out my phone.
All right. Up above fours, as you switch to E2, it does cut to a room that does have a safe in it. There does not appear to be anything else in this room. You can't see an entryway into it, just a room with a safe.
Okay.
And E3 seems to go to a dark room with 2 pools in it. Through the night vision camera that's effectively working here, can't tell what's in the pools or what everything's around it, just that kind of green, light green kind of effect.
Yeah.
There does not appear to be anyone in here.
Just the contours of some dark room with 2 pools in it.
Correct.
All right.
Like kind of like how you have like a pool and then like a smaller jacuzzi to wash yourself off in.
Okay.
Anti-dibs? That's a thing, right? Not it?
As I flick through the feeds, I'm going to try and not make a big deal out of it. Just in case, I'll try and be nonchalant about it.
The Lycles and halfling here will be like, have you found what you're looking for yet? Who are you even with?
It's above your pay grade.
Ooh.
Let's compare lanyards.
And I'll continue to flip through feeds, and I'll, I guess, try and be somewhat diplomatic, though, and be like, I'll be out of here in a minute.
Okay, give these guys a sense motive.
Yeah,
Yeah, they kind of look at each other, and you say it's above their pay grade. They kind of look at each other and go, "Sounds like it."
Sounds like they need to unionize.
Yeah, they pour each other some more champagne. You'll watch as one of the bottles clings over to probably about a half dozen that are empty in the floor.
Oh man, that's in the surveillance room.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Challenge accepted. And I will pop open one of the champagne bottles and down it quickly.
The halfling looks to a Lycle looks to a Lycle, and a Lycle looks back to you as they, hey!
And I'll throw the bottle down to the pile and go, hey!
With that, we zoom out to Oswald.
Yeah, I think at this point, I'm trying not to attract attention.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of like going around my rounds. I do want to keep an eye on how the dispute in the garden is going, and I do want to swing back by the limo driver.
Yeah.
Text.
Yeah. Zedix, once he sees you, will be like, oh man, Oz, get over here, man.
Yep, and I will.
You've been gone forever. And he's going to pour you another cup.
As he does, I'm going to look at how much is left in the bottle.
The whole thing. He's been waiting for you to come back.
God damn it. Son of a bitch. Okay. Then, yep, I will smile and accept. And I guess at this point, I will hang out with him for a while. I'm going to go a little slower this time as I'm drinking this whiskey.
Yeah, he'll kind of chat up with you. And so how'd you get your job?
And I'll get this kind of like wistful look as I'm actually trying to think about how I got this job. You know, I just kind of fell into it, really. I got taken in by this company, and I just kind of do odd work for them, and this is part of it.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah. How about you?
Well, my progen passed away before they could pay off their debts, so I just got to work it off. Another 5 years, and I'm out.
Ooh, 5 years. Does Estelle pay well at least?
Room and board.
Huh. So how are you working off the debt if you're only getting room and board?
An hour at a time, my friend. And he'll cling glasses with you.
Yeah, I am gonna do my best to keep him going so that he drinks more whiskey than me. So what are you gonna do after you pay it off? What's your dream, man?
Oh man,
Take that, random NPC.
Yeah, he just kind of looks up, and I don't know. I've always thought of I've always heard good stuff about a place called Nugget.
Thought about settling down out there and becoming a folk singer.
I don't think I've heard much about Nugget. What do you hear? I don't know much about it. Do you know anybody out there?
Nah, but I don't know anybody in here. I mean, besides you.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting away from all of this, and he'll motion in the direction of Dust Banter and into the rest of it. I see
Oh man.
too many people here fall by the wayside, no matter how hard they try.
Yeah, but at the same time, like the city kind of has a life of its own. It's like you can kind of interact with it and make your own way. You've got I don't know, connection points in a way, even if you don't know anybody, but in a way that you don't if you just got to go out by yourself. I don't know. I love the city, but I know it's not for everybody.
Yeah, go ahead and give me that diplomacy.
Okay. I don't even know what I'm diplomatizing with at this point, but
Well, you're trying to get him to drink more with you, right? So you're
that's
trying
true. I am doing that.
you're trying to communicate like a person does with other people who are communicating.
What? 18 on my diplomacy.
Zenix kind of he drinks with you,
Mm-hmm.
kind of keeping pace. And hey, I don't want to keep you too long. You got work to do, but it's a lot to think about.
Yeah. I'll have to look up Nugget sometime and see what's out there. Maybe take a trip. Never been.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really far away, for even further than Pauldron.
I'm from Pauldron.
He'll definitely. Whoa.
Yeah, it's a neat place. And I'll start telling him just stories about Pauldron, upper plate, lower plate, river, why you need Grick tendrils and why you don't want too many of them when you fall in the water.
Yeah, he'll laugh and listen. As we'll cut back to Lucius.
All right, the end is fucking nigh. I'll warn everybody over Sliver. I'm gonna get this started and pull out my phone. I don't think I'm gonna actually call Bolsonaro. I'll probably just like have my phone as a prop and Sliver over to Bolsonaro.
All right. Yeah, you'll get
All
a
right,
response.
Hang on. Just
Sure.
real quick for me, just because of the Brazilian dictator, I wanted to get a clear distinction of the name of this character. It's Bolsonaros.
Bolsonaros.
To clear that up, so I call Bolsonaro.
Clear it up. Yeah. Okay. It's so easy for your mind to just drop an L in there.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. You'll hear Bolsonaros will answer, and are we ready to move forward?
We're ready to move forward. You create the first distraction, then you get your airship going as the final distraction.
All right, I'm sending my men to the safe now.
Best of luck. And take care of Dosh.
I will.
I appreciate it.
Fours, up above as you're sitting there with the Lycles and Halfling, as you guys are all kind of joking about the just obviously kind of cheap cameras that were bought. Like they're all the recommended ones, right? Like these aren't the high quality ones. They're all the ones somebody was like, oh, this is the best on the market. And so they bought them.
Went to Radio Shack security. Hey, they're dead now. I can talk about them as much as I want.
But you will see on one of the screens as two Arferi guards go into the safe room. As soon as they go in, lights start to illuminate on the boards here. As klaxons go off, as the Lycles turn around. Oh shit! I think somebody's stealing. As the halfling will reach out and, sir, we got two unknowns in the safe room. Yeah, absolutely. Nope. Well, they're still there now. You can watch as these two are putting together a small amount of something onto the safe. Looks like they're trying to crack it.
All right, I'll be slivering what I can see from the surveillance room to both of you guys.
All right. For Lucius, as you are down there after you've just spoken with Bolsonaros, the guards here all get very tense, right? They all seem to be in a position they want to move, they want to run, but they're not sure quite how to go forward. Oswald, outside, you can hear champagne bottles pop. You can hear people cheering as a procession of rich people are coming outside because we're only a few minutes away from the unveiling of the ship. Zedix will put down his glass and, oh, well, I guess let's watch this. And he'll move around to the backside of the limo and sit on the trunk.
Yeah, makes sense. And I will grab the glass that he set down and refill it and bring it over casually as though it's like, oh yeah, you forgot this and we're gonna still drink whiskey as we do this.
Yeah, he'll definitely, oh, thanks. He'll take a sip.
But yeah, I'm happy to just hang out and chill with him for the meantime. I'm kind of in react mode.
All right. We cut to Lucius.
So where I'm at, kind of just outside of that office space, I'll send back to fours. Fours, that should be our distraction. Let those people in that camera room know that we knew that this was coming up, and to get guards focused on all different areas, and that they're not focusing on the shot puts. Is that that was just a distraction, and try to look over other secure areas, right? And I'll turn to the people in the office area or any other guards and say, they're going for the safe, or we have activity on the safe, and I need people there right now.
Do you want to peel people off of the shot put room?
That's what I'm hoping to do. But
Okay, cool. For the inside then, fours, go and give you a computer use check, but this is kind of going to be a sleight of hand, right? This will be you moving the cameras in the office room so they're not pointed where they should be.
Okay.
At the same time, Lucius, give me your bluff check to pull these guys out of here. They look like they're tense. They're ready to act, but they're not quite sure what to do here. But with you saying all this,
okay, my bluff is a total of 21.
Ah! My sleight of hand is a 27.
Ag.
excellent. Fours, with a quick hand stroke, especially with like the Lycles and halflings tapping away at keyboards and moving cameras around as they focus in on this safe person. This is you just basically like pushing the buttons on the larger kind of soundboard kind of thing, like
a bigger console.
yeah, the
clunkier
console that
thing.
controls each camera where you can turn it on and off and rotate it,
Like,
right?
like analog controls.
Correct.
Yeah.
Where you just bump all those cameras so they're all facing out the window.
Yep.
Out that window, you can see Oswald sitting on the trunk of a limo.
Whiskey glass in hand.
Yeah, with a young Void who's just downing whiskey next to him. But you can no longer see Lucius or the people in there. In the main room, Lucius with a 21 on your bluff. Three of these guys kind of look to each other and like, shit, and they take off running. The other three, two banter, one our ferry, kind of stop and, I don't know, we can't leave these. Like the other our ferry guy is going to move to the door, so he's looking out, but the two banter employees are standing here by the desk.
Okay,
Yeah, they're by the desk. They're looking at you.
great. That's my hope. I want them to continue looking at me, and as they are, unseen servants are starting to, as quick as they move, load up one by one the shock puts into the coat that I left. So I'm going to be rattling off different areas where I think that we could also be seeing disruption. Fours was looking at cameras, right? And I could probably reach to fours. It's like, what are some secret areas? Like, are there more than just the safe? We'd mentioned that there was like a E1 and E2 and E3 or something.
Yeah. If I cycle through, I can let you know if there are any updates there.
Right. Like, I'll have them I'll be describing that we need to maybe go to Estelle's room itself, like their personal quarters, because that could be being attacked right now. Just places that I know, or I would like them to go where I know that we aren't,
Okay. Yeah, I can check through the feeds of the places that are supposed to be vacant, and if I see any figures or something there, I can drum something up.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe the people making out in the billiards room are in for a surprise.
Yeah, go check those people out. They're suspicious. Go blow up their makeout sesh.
But yeah, ultimately drawing their attention off of the room itself, but into the crisis is at hand.
Okay, so we're going to do this kind of like in a cascading aid check.
A cascade of aids.
In the safe room, two red bandana members will set up a small explosive and try to break the safe. As it explodes, they see that the safe is unharmed. Nothing has happened. The approaching our ferry guards draw weapons, as you can hear the start of a little bit of gunfire. A warning shot before return shots. This will give a +2 to fours in order to aid them with how they want to direct these Lycles and Halflings as they are giving commands to the Arferi guards, which are, of course, talking to Del'Rose.
They're directing security.
Correct. And depending on how they get directed, that would aid to Lucius's bluff check.
All right. When I'm bringing up possible breaches or security concerns, I want to try and blame it if it goes wrong on one of the other guys. Subtly plant the idea, whatever idea I come up with, I subtly plant the idea that it was their idea and kind of get that rolling. But yeah, are there still crazy partiers?
Yeah, there's still partiers, people that have not gone to the surprise. Like Oswald outside can hear kind of the countdown, the 3 minutes till reveal.
Hmm.
As you can see, servants handing out champagne bottles to everybody, make sure they have one in hand. If you were trying to redirect these people, then we're going to treat your computer use with a +2 from the distraction of the explosion
All
as
right.
a bluff. And let's say if 10 gives +2, then 20 would give +4, 30 +6. If you somehow you get there, I don't know if you then that would give that bonus to Lucius for the correct bluff check to do what he needs to do.
Okay. Well, I will roll out a computer use,
Hmm.
and this is this +2.
Correct.
All right. Okay. So a total of 17.
Okay. Between the two Lycos, though, and the halfling, there's a lot of confusing information happening, right?
Hmm. Hmm. It's kind of hard to interject myself with all the chaos.
Yeah. Putting those ideas out there, but each one's kind of handling a different aspect of what's happening.
Hmm.
Inside here, then, Lucius, you have a +2 to your bluff. As you kind of know, thanks to fours, where things are going and what's like where people are being directed.
Sounds good.
These two banter support agents that are standing next to the desk are not as easy to kind of move around as they are fairy guy, as the fairy ones are more dedicated to Del'Rose.
Yeah. The way I see it, I just need their focus on me because I've just a silent and visible entity just picking up object and slowly moving it to location. So just kind of like Ghostbusters in the background, books moving across shelves.
It's humorous to imagine you like straining, doing like really painful looking telekinesis with your
Um,
hand outstretched, just like slowly hovering objects into your coat.
if they can steal, let's say, 2 per round, then every 5 past 15 buys you an extra round. So 15's 1 round, 20's 2, 25's 3.
So I will make the attempt to keep our distraction going. And like I am obviously trying to coordinate things on my phone and like look like I'm coordinating through Sliver, right? It looks like I'm doing stuff important. I'm relaying to all the guards and trying to just coordinate and act like I'm important.
Okay.
And in my attempt, I get a total of 25.
You're
Awesome.
killing it this session.
Yeah, 25 means 3 rounds, which means 6 shot puts are stolen as they are tucked into the coat. The banter agents continue to watch on you, kind of laughing at you, like, who the fuck's this guy? Like, he's just rambling like a weirdo.
You know that boss who always tries to look busy but doesn't actually do anything?
Yeah, that's me.
But it is enough to continue the distraction, right? They still are entertained by the spectacle of Lucius just in a constant stream of bullshit.
Just act like I'm in like the middle of like an action-packed dialogue and like a Jack Ryan or something. The terrorists are over here.
We're approaching the time for the ship to take off. Oswald, you will notice, though it wasn't obvious at first, it was kind of a little bit of that shell game, right? Like 5 Red Bandana members leave, 6 Mercadine people get on, 3 Mercadine leave, 1 Red Bandana gets on.
Yeah, tracking the passengers on the bus math problem,
Yeah, and eventually you're like, everybody standing outside is kind of in the same group,
right?
and nobody can communicate with anybody inside. As gunshots go off, people cheer. At this point, the halfling drunk is hugging the void that was punching his friend earlier as they blow up champagne bottles, and is revealed the massive airship, the Del'Rose, the mithril filigree, the Darkwood hull. It is a beautiful ship. The spotlights all focus on it as dropping down from the side of it, which normally you'd assume would be the banners of the Del'Rose estate, are just giant red banners.
As the airship is getting revealed, I'll be taking out my phone as though I'm going to take a picture of it, and I will follow through with that, even as the banners are thrown out.
From outside, you can hear Del'Rose start to scream. Those are not my colors. Who fucked this up? The airship will begin to lift as it will drop a little bit as it hits the weight of the anchors that you saw the night before, before they break off, smashing down into trees, destroying part of the garden, as the airship will begin to take off into the sky, trailing behind red banners, as a whole bunch of very fancy socialites and rich people will kind of stand around being like, "Oh, well, that's a very pretty ship. Oh, I didn't expect that to happen."
Right. Was that it? Was that the cool thing? Are we supposed to ooh and ah now?
Lucius, you feel as though that your coat is full. You don't see the servants unable to do more, unless they're still like grabbing Sorcerer's Apprentice style. Yeah. As they're just like grabbing balls and dropping them on the floor because they can't move anymore.
No, I'm hoping they're just standing still once they've completed their objective there. But they're still able to take commands. Cool that they seem to have completed their task. Still got guards in the area. Does it look like everybody else knows that things aren't going right with the unveil?
The artillery guard behind you will take off sprinting. The banter guards in front of you don't, showing that the artillery are connected, but the banter is not.
Okay. Then I'll point out then, what are you doing just standing around? The red bandana have stolen the airship. We got to get out there. And I attempt to get the other team going, the banter support. I want them out. I want them doing things.
Suddenly start showing leadership.
He's been selling them on a timeshare for the last 10 minutes. Go ahead and give me that final bluff then.
Final bluff. I
Ba-da-bam,
got
bam.
a total of 17.
As the two banter agents look at you,
I don't gotta roll good when you roll bad.
yeah. As you weave this obviously nonsensical lie, where one of them should be like, "Hey, wait, how did you know the red bandana was stealing a ship right now?"
I've got a sliver communication. Come on.
But I don't understand why we don't.
Actually, I don't know why they don't either.
But with a natural one, both banter agents look at each other. Ah, Jesus, fuck. Ryan's gonna have our head for this, and they're going to rush out of here, leaving you alone.
That being the case,
You are off camera, sir.
yeah. As they run out, that's my smile getting real big. As an unseen servant opens the secret compartment below the desk, the door towards the limo will open, and I will walk towards my coat and start putting it on. That's what I do. End scene.
Yeah, as you walk over, put on your coat, the door will open. So Oswald, as you and Zedix are sitting outside, watching a whole bunch of people kind of both freak out, be excited. No one knows quite what's happening yet. You can just see that Estelle Del'Rose is able to hop very high into the air, angrily, as trails of green ribbon follow her.
Is she trying to jump to the airship, or is she just hopping mad?
It looks like she tried to, but she couldn't make it. She never would have.
Right.
But that anger's there, right? It's the angriest hop you've ever seen. But you and Zedix will hear all of a sudden,
Shake my head with the professional's opinion. Like, that's not the way you got to do it. You got to do it all graceful. Like, you'll never get the height with your anger.
but next to you, a chunk of the wall will push aside. A door will open up as a Lucius is standing there wearing his owlbear coat. And Zedix will look over and, huh?
I'll turn.
As we cut to Fours upstairs, as two Lycals and a Halfling are like, oh god, what the hell's going on? You can hear the clatter of the slivers and radio communications between our fairy, banter, Mercadine. The Mercadine, especially all of them in one place, is creating a horrible reverb of sliver over sliver over sliver.
Feedback whirring.
Yeah, like eventually one of them reaches out and just shuts down the connection to all of the Mercadine agents.
Woof.
Can this be a good time for me to sliver fours and say I got the shot puts? Now it's time to start getting our way out.
Time to go.
Perfect.
Yeah. I do want that painting though.
All right, Fours, you are the last person in the house. You just gotta get by the guards.
Wait a minute. I'm leaving the house. That painting. There's no way to get that painting out.
If there's no way, then there's no way.
There's no way it gets into my clutch. Like.
What's the frame made out of?
Well, you do know the painting was by the entryway because that's where you guys ran into Tive.
We can meet you at the entrance with our sweet getaway car.
All right.
Let's do it.
I'm going to try and monkey with some camera angles to pave my my unseen exit then, in a route that goes by the entrance and the painting.
I think I'm gonna try and maybe meet Fours at the entrance. I feel like maybe I can grab the painting and get away faster than he can. If we can maybe effective handoff there.
Okay, so then as Lucius walks out next to Limo, you're going to leave Zedix.
I was thinking I would say, Zedix,
Yeah.
meet my boss, Lucius. I think he's gonna have some words for you. But it was a pleasure meeting you, and I'll see you. And I'll look to Lucius for confirmation. Like, do you have this at this point?
I'll hold my hand out for the keys.
The keys for the wrecker?
No, the limo.
I'll point at Zetex and raise an eyebrow.
Oh, this got weird then.
If Zetex is now looking at Lucius, I will try and sleight of hand keys off of his person.
A slightly drunk limo driver who does not know who this is kind of like,
Right.
Wait, what's happening?
Yeah, thanks for. This is my boss, Lucius, the guy that's doing the. Jesus Christ. This is my invisible truck right here, Lucius.
29 on the sleight of hand.
Boom. Yeah, Zedix, especially with a few whiskeys in him, has no idea that all of a sudden he's lost the keys.
Yeah.
As they go flying across the yard here to Lucius, who catches them.
And I'll grab them and I'll look at him and do like a quick sniff, right? Like, been drinking. And I'll relay that there's a security breach over by the airship area, and I need him to get over there right now.
All right, go and give me a diplomacy.
They got a total of 34 with an at 20. Just
Okay.
a quick go away.
Yeah, there is kind of the moment here where Zedix understands that he's been played. Like, he sees the keys fly out from Oswald to Lucius. He sees himself effectively kind of, well, ruined.
You can't admit that you let that happen.
I mean, he can play this off still, but depends on whether he will.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a friend. He got drunk on he was tricked to get drunk. He's been robbed of the keys. The people that are robbing the house are now taking him out. With that natural 20, 100%, he walks off towards the group of partying rich people to let them know that someone's robbing them. if they'll listen to him.
So sorry, buddy. You thought you had friends.
But inside,
I thought it was totally going in the John Candy and Nothing But Trouble, where it's just like, you look like you could use a vacation. Let's get out of here. And he abandons his job. Sorry to interrupt.
nope. So Fours inside.
Yep.
You probably have a couple rounds left before this starts to get bad.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
I want to do a quick scramble of the cameras on that console to clear my path as quickly as I can manage, and then I'll be on my way.
Are we talking about intentional sabotage, or are we talking about pour my champagne all over their console sabotage?
Directed and intentional, like
Okay.
not chaos. Yeah.
Okay, go and give me a computer use check then.
Okay, I got 20.
Easy enough. Cameras get moved. Like, basically, you just run down the keyboard and just slap a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Some cameras are on, some are off, some are in the wrong direction, some are still fine. But it's not useful information anymore.
Mm-hmm.
As you will leave the third floor.
What's the situation as I descend down into the main lobby?
So the house is in chaos right now. The few guards that are in here are still not, they're aware that stuff's being stolen, an entire ship, but also there is a safe. And you can hear gunshots on the second floor between those who are trying to break into the safe and those who are trying to get to it. So occasionally, like, you'll hear a gunfire go off, hear people yelling about the ship. Like I say, it's chaos in here. So depending on what you're trying to steal, the more you're going for, the harder the check. If you're just wanting to grab the painting on the way out, you can probably tear that off the wall and just keep running. Coke
Okay.
Guy is not going to stop you.
Okay, nope, I'm just doing the painting. And if I pass other security, I can direct them with factually accurate information of what's going on with the saves and the safe rooms and
Okay,
stuff, so I can kind of get them away from the entrance.
perfect.
Super easy.
Barely an inconvenience. You find yourself downstairs as guards rush past you, running in. You can hear the gunshots eventually rise in a tide of the attacker versus the defender. And so you do leave knowing those Red Bandana members will not leave here alive.
Mm.
Not how that was supposed to go, but damn.
As you pull the painting off of the wall and sprint into the front yard.
I kick my heels off.
Awesome.
Nice. So you have the wrecker keys. Lucius has the limo keys. What are you guys doing?
I figured I could take the wrecker out and Lucius could take the limo out.
Then I will go meet up with Force.
All right, excellent. So both of you, with I imagine Oswald's driving this time.
If he's pulling the van around.
Yeah, because Fours wouldn't know where that is.
Yeah, that's a good point. Then, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, I will zip straight to the. I guess I will have, instead of meeting Force at the front, I'll have to go get the wrecker and pull it around.
Perfect. Then I need a drive check from Oswald. I need a drive check from Lucius as we end this session, as to see you guys bolting out of here, hopefully without leaving behind too much evidence.
I got a 12.
Is that better than I did in the snow? You guys, is this better than I did in the snow?
Got a 7. Doing real good.
Lucius having a terrible time driving a vehicle this long.
It's gonna scrape the bottom of it.
Scraping out the side. Even though the vehicle slightly hovers, he does not make that turn by the time the gate's all the way open. So there's just a clang and a smash as sparks go streaking across, much to the surprise and cheers of the impoverished people in the hovels below as they watch as this limo just sparking away into the night as it flies off towards the freeway. At the same time, Chira attempts to just double check who's leaving, but does not have time, but has enough to notice Oswald at the steering wheel. Fours in the passenger seat as they go flying out the front entrance.
Yep.
Nothing to block them. Far above, a airship trailing 6 red banners heads out towards the sea. And that's where we will end this session.
Hold on. I gotta call up my Ammon contact.
Oh, it's time.
And as I do, yeah, we're coming in hot. If he was curious what that meant before.
All right, a lizard folk on a small 2-person Hedron vehicle is waiting out there. You see their peakers and goggles. Their, I believe I said red and black scales upon the backside. As Arushi is waiting at the freeway on ramp as a limo pulls up, as well as the wrecker. Ooh, that is hot. What did you guys do? Staring at a damaged limo as one of you gets out of one vehicle.
I'll say, what's more important is it was all done by contract. And I will toss him the keys to the limo. It's just slowly taking like these shot puts out and putting them probably in the passenger seat. And Forrest, please have him sign.
Oh, yeah. I will reach into my clutch and produce a data pad.
I'll move the painting from the wrecker into the limo.
Yeah, Arushi will look in.
Girl.
Yeah. 6 shot puts, 1 original Azurian Delbrecht painting, and a fine limo. Anything else, my friends?
Yeah, that painting. If you could just make a special note for Ty Fralin himself, you're welcome.
Alrighty, can do.
Oh, God. Why?
He'll check off a few things and damn, boys. And Kin.
I'll do a little head nod. Does your Amazon purchase continue an ominous message?
Arushi would, well, I'll get this back there post haste. You guys have done quite well. I look forward to seeing you guys again.
We don't get that a lot.
You'll watch as he ties a couple incendiary grenades to his Hedron vehicle, and I don't understand. Why is that? As he'll pull the pin and walk over to the limo. You guys are fun. As the PHV behind him will explode into shards and fire in the middle of the night. So get in the limo and roll down the window. Anything else?
No, that'll be good. I'll look over at the fiery wreck of the old PHP. Like, sure do wish that was my PHP then if you're just going to start throwing them away. All in a night's work.
You'll hear the shitty pop music blare from the limo's radio as a cigarette lights, and he'll drive off down the freeway.
Huh.
Man, I need to become friends with that guy.
Against all odds, that went fairly well. And I'm gonna be looking at Lucius to try and get a read on what you thought of that.
As you all warm yourselves by the burning PHP.
Right. Yeah. I'll look really disturbed looking at it and then just lighten right up. Let's go get a victory drink.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. As always, like, rate, subscribe, all that jazz. Our intro and outro are still Catabasis for this chapter, as well as the house music was Alethea, all of which is produced by the amazing and wonderful Nihilor. Thanks so much. Bye!